In today's nutrients lab, you'll need the following: a spot plate, 2 test tubes, a test tube rack, and test tube tongs. You will need a beaker and a hot plate, so I've already started heating it up. And the various nutrients we'll be testing today is starch, vegetable oil, albumin of an egg, or I should say protein, and glucose solution. We also be testing water as your control substance, and the nutrients will be tested using these particular tests. We have Lugol's iodine solution. We'll be using Sudan IV, Biuret solution, and these two for the glucose, Fehling's solution A and B. For the first test, we will be testing first 5 drops of water. So you place 5 drops of water into one of the wells of the spot plate, and you will place 5 drops of the starch solution into the other well. And then you will add 2 drops of Lugol's iodine solution. First we test water as the control, and now we test for the starch. You see that? It gives you a blue-black color. For the next test, we will be testing for fat with vegetable oil. But first, we always must start by testing water, the control. So we will place 5 drops of distilled water into one well. And then we'll place 5 drops of vegetable oil into the next. There you go. And to test for fat, we'll be using the Sudan IV solution. First we test water, and now we test for the fat. If you look closely, the Sudan IV diluted into the water, but with the fat created little particles, and it was a little darker too. The next test we'll be doing is test for protein, and we will be using albumin or eggs. So the same idea as the other parts, you have to put 5 drops into one well, and we also have to test for water. And this time we will be using the Biuret reagent, this one. Let's see what happens when I add it in water, 2 drops. Oops, So the one with the egg came out slightly darker than the one with the water. And for this last part, we will be detecting simple sugar, or I call it also glucose. We will be using two reagents, Fehling A and Fehling B solution. And for that, I will have to use a hot water bath, which has been starting from the beginning. And once I'm ready, I will place my test tubes inside the beakers. So for that, you will need to bring the test tubes closer. Test tube number 1 and test tube number 2. You will place 10 drops of distilled water into test tube 1. So here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you will place 10 drops of the glucose that you're testing into test tube 2. Remember, you always have to test once for water and once for the nutrient. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just got a little bit more. Okay. Then we will add 10 drops of Fehling A and 10 drops of Fehling B in each of the test tubes. So Fehling A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's look what happens when I place Fehling B in the solution. Two, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So this is before adding it to the hot water. They look pretty much almost the same. Now let's place them both in the hot water bath for a few minutes to see if there's going to be a change. Carefully place it in the water and observe. Here's test tube 1 and test tube 2. And we'll meet again in a few minutes. Hello, welcome back. It's been 5 minutes that the test tubes are in hot water bath. And look at test tube 2, the one that had the glucose turns to a brown orange. However, the one that had the water just stayed blue, as you can see. So whenever something has glucose in it, it will turn this color with the Fehling A and B. When you are finished, make sure you turn off the heat and carefully remove the test tubes from the hot water using the test tube tong. Here's a close-up. There you go. So I have a question for you guys. Let's say I want to test an unknown substance and I want to know if it has carbohydrates, if it has starch. So let's see. I'm going to test this unknown substance. I will not tell you what it is. I'll give you a second. Think about it. Does this unknown substance contain starch? Remember, to test for starch, I must use Lugol's solution.